Welcome back, and in this video, I'm going to be covering the Florida Gators defeating the McNeese State Cowboys. It's an FCS team. Florida did what they were supposed to do. They went out there, they handled business. 49-7. They could have been 49-0, but the defense gave up a late touchdown at the end, so Florida doesn't get the shutout. But thankfully, the no shutout of Florida's offense will continue as they were able to score points on the very first possession. Graham Mertz 14-17, 193 and a touchdown. The run game was absolutely spectacular. Montrell Johnson 15 carries, 119 yards. Trevor Etienne 11 carries, 84 yards. Treyaun Webb 14 carries for 71 yards. So much better on the ground for the Gators in this game. As you can see, a couple of walk-on quarterbacks, Max Brown and Michael Leon, got in towards the second half. Late in the second half, Ricky Pearsall had a big day, 6 catches, 123 yards and a touchdown. Eugene Wilson, who was starting to get got more reps than he did last week against Utah. As Billy Napier said, he was going to be a bigger factor in this game, and he absolutely was. Aiden Mizell, another one of those good freshman wide receivers that Florida brought in from their previous recruiting class. He got in, 2 catches, 25 yards. In the defense, you're going to see on the defensive side of the ball, a lot of freshman players got in, like a TJ Searcy, Bryce Thornton, Jordan Castell, who's back-to-back starters for Florida in the secondary. Will Norman got in the game. Jakeem Jackson was able to get into the game as well. So another game in which a lot of freshmen got a lot of play. If there was one thing to complain about, is that another special teams error by Florida. Florida scores a touchdown. They get the ball to start the game. They score a touchdown on their opening drive. They drive down the field. Beautiful drive. Nice run game. Nice passing down. Nice quick intermediate passes. And the special teams launches the ball over the holder's head. Billy Napier needs to get this special teams thing under wraps. I don't know if he needs to change coordinators or maybe he needs to hire a coordinator, but he needs to come up with a tactic that's going to make special teams just as big of an emphasis as offense and defense. This guy has a serious problem with special team errors. You spent all week last week talking about learning from your mistakes, not making stupid mistakes that cost your team, not to make bad errors, not to have bad judgmental errors on the football field. And then literally what happens, the long snapper, launches the ball over the holder's head, and McNeese State almost was able to score because one of their players almost scooped it up before the holder fell onto the ball to prevent them from scoring it. But that could have been a 2-point swing in favor of McNeese State. I don't know what's going on with Florida and the special teams, but they need to get it together. I mean, when Florida was playing under Urban Meyer, special teams was just as exciting as offense and defense were, because they were blocking kicks, they were blocking punts, they were having kick returns or punt returns for touchdowns. They were impacting the game at all three levels. If Billy Napier wants to bring Florida to the heights in which he feels that the program is capable of reaching, he needs to get these special teams on point. It's ridiculous how this far into his tenure and he still can't figure out special teams. But other than that, that was really the only complaints I had about the entire game. It was a dominant performance. Florida did what they were supposed to do. I understand it's an FCS school, but they went out there and they handled their business. They were like they were supposed to. You're going up against a program like McNeese State. You need to do exactly what the scoreboard says. 42-point blowout. So that was good to see that the Gators finally get on the win column, this weekend. If there's another complaint, this isn't related to the game. It was more so the reaction of the game. A lot of Florida fans were saying that, a win is a win and, we're happy to see them, see them getting the win column. I am too, but in college football, a win is not a win. Florida won their game last night. They absolutely did. But you want to know who else won their game last night? Texas. And I'm not going to get in too detailed about their game because I'm going to cover that in my next video after I get done recording this one. But Texas won their game last night in Alabama. Okay, Miami won their game yesterday against Texas A&M. All three, Texas, Miami, and Florida won their games last night. Yesterday. Does that mean all three of those wins are the same? No, because Florida played an FCS school. Miami beat a Texas A&M team who beat them last year and was on the road to, was on the road, and it was what was a high octane matchup, and Texas went on the road and beat a top five Alabama team. I think it's the first time Texas has like beaten a top five team in who knows how many years, especially on the road, and against a team that, quite frankly, I think Texas fans remember in infamy because of the history of quarterbacks getting injured, helping Alabama win games. I mean, last year, uh, Texas had their quarterback injured and still almost beat Alabama. But I'm not going to get too far into that. So a win is, but my point is this: a win is not a win in college football. I hated the fact that Gator fans were saying that. I hated that they actually thought their win over McNeese State was the same as the victories for the two teams that I just got done mentioning. Listen, be happy that Florida won. I got no issue with that, but a win is not a win in college football. But those are my only complaints: the fan reaction and the special teams mistake. I would like to know when Billy Napier is going to get that under control. But other than that, congratulations to Graham Mertz for getting his first win as a Florida Gator. Congratulations to all the freshmen who got their reps in, and for the freshmen who scored their very first touchdowns as Gators, like a Treyaun Webb, for example, getting two touchdowns on the day, and all the other freshmen that were able to get their reps in. So, 49-7, Florida handles their business, did what they were supposed to. Go Gators.